Welcome to the deep dive. We take your sources articles, research, expert reviews, and pull out the really important stuff.
Hmm.
Today, our mission is basically to give you a shortcut, make you well-informed about, well, navigating the world of manual testing tools for 2025. It's a big topic.
It really is.
And here's what's kind of fascinating, right? We live in this age of automation. Everything's about automation. So why is manual testing still, so critical?
Yeah, it seems like a contradiction almost.
Exactly. But the right tools, they aren't obsolete at all. They can actually simplify your whole QA process, really enhance how you approach testing, and help ensure you get that bug-free experience everyone wants.
That's spot on. It's a core truth in QA. Manual testing tools, they're not just like nice to have. They are an essential part, a pillar of any successful quality assurance process.
Right.
And our sources, they really hammer this home. They say, look, to really optimize things, streamline your software testing, you need to pick tools that integrate best with your workflow, meet all your use cases, and actually help you speed up your growth.
Finding that perfect fit.
It's not just about grabbing any tool off the shelf. It has to fit you.
Okay, so that's the goal. But I mean, how do you even begin? There are countless options out there. It feels overwhelming, like trying to pick one specific grain of sand on a beach.
Totally. A constantly shifting beach, too.
So how did the sources we looked at manage to, cut through all that noise? How did they pick the best tools for this deep dive?
Well, it wasn't casual. It was incredibly rigorous. One source detailed this whole methodology. They spent over 173 hours evaluating 26 manual testing tools.
Wow, 173 hours. That's a lot of time.
It really is. One of the researchers joked their coffee budget went through the roof. But it means they weren't just like looking at feature lists. They were doing deep practical assessments, really pushing these tools.
Okay, so they put in the work. What were the critical things they looked for? The non-negotiables that really separated the good from the great. What should you, our listener, be thinking about?
Good question. They focus on several key areas. First up was ease of use. Pretty obvious, right? You want tools with a minimal learning curve so you can get testing quickly.
Makes sense. Get productive fast.
Exactly. Then, collaboration features. Super important today. Tools need to make it easy for teams to talk, share info, work together seamlessly, like a hive mind for QA.
Yeah, avoid silos.
Reporting capabilities were also big. You need clear, insightful reports that actually tell you something useful, not just a data dump.
Actionable insights, not just numbers.
Precisely. And cross-platform support. Your tools have to work everywhere. Windows, Linux, macOS, iOS, Android, web, you name it.
Can't be locked into one environment.
No. And related to that, integration options. How well does the tool plug into your existing setup? Your CI/CD pipeline, your project management tools like, say, Jira or Asana.
So it plays nice with others.
It has to. And finally, community and support. Good documentation, active forums, quick support when you hit a wall that can be a lifesaver.
Okay, that's a solid set of criteria. So after all that evaluation, 173 hours, the anticipation is killing me. Which tools actually made the cut? Let's get into the standouts, the editor's choice, the top picks.
All right, let's do it. Kicking things off, Jira software. This one popped up as both the editor's choice and the #1 top pick in our sources.
Jira, yeah, that name comes up a lot.
It does. It's described as, robust, highly customizable. Its main thing is issue and test tracking. And it's really praised as a top-tier agile testing tool.
So what makes it the editor's choice? What are those key features that really make it stand out?
I think what's really insightful about Jira, based on the sources, is its incredible adaptability. It offers customizable workflows, meaning teams can literally define their own process steps. You can tailor permissions, control who sees what, who does what. It's less like a fixed tool and more like a bespoke operating system for your quality process. It molds itself to how your team works.
Okay, that sounds powerful. And that control extends to actually managing the tests themselves, right?
Absolutely. The test case management is strong. Sources noted how easy it is to create, track, and organize test cases, and they recommend linking them directly to user stories or issues.
For traceability, yeah. See how everything connects.
Exactly. Then you have advanced search and filters. They mentioned JQL Jira query language.
JQL sounds technical.
It can be, but it's incredibly powerful. Think of it like a super search for everything in Jira. Need to find Say, all critical bugs in the Android app reported by a specific tester in the last sprint. JQL lets you build that exact query.
Ah, I see. So you can pinpoint issues really efficiently. Saves time, especially with tests you run over and over.
Definitely. And then there's integration with CI/CD tools, things like Jenkins. It links up seamlessly, gives you real-time updates on builds, deployments, keeps testing perfectly synced with development.
Keeps everyone on the same page.
And the real-time collaboration features comments, app mentions, attachments, all right there within Jira. It just speeds up communication, problem solving.
So it's really an ecosystem.
It is. It helps streamline the whole manual testing flow, helps devs debug faster, and ultimately gets the product out quicker and with higher quality.
Okay, sounds impressive. And the sources mentioned its extensive variety of plugins, both first and third party, and even a lifetime free basic plan, which is great. But you also noted that renaming things categories, statuses, can be complex. Is that complexity a hurdle for, say, smaller teams? Or is it just the price you pay for that power?
That's a really fair point. For smaller teams, yeah, the initial setup, that customization, it can feel a bit daunting. There's definitely a learning curve involved.
Right.
But for larger organizations or teams with very specific, maybe evolving needs, that deep flexibility is the reason they choose Jira. So yeah, it's a trade-off. You get immense power and customizability, but it might take more effort to get started compared to simpler tools.
Okay, so Jira is about comprehensive control. But the next pick, Testpad, sounds like it takes a totally different path.
It really does.
Sources described it as like using a spreadsheet, but built specifically for managing test plans, organized around a simple checklist-style interface. What's the deal there?
Yeah, Testpad's approach is quite unique. I think the key insight here is how it embraces flexibility, especially for exploratory testing.
Exploratory testing. So, less structured.
Exactly. Where many tools impose a very rigid structure, create a test case, follow the steps. Testpad is more free-form. It lets testers explore, react, follow leads, kind of like a detective. It's great for finding those unexpected bugs that rigid test cases might miss.
Interesting. More organic.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And that makes it a really natural fit for small, medium, or agile teams. It's lightweight, adaptable.
And it sounds really user-friendly, too. Features like a keyboard-driven editor for speed demons, I guess.
Oh, yeah, helps you move fast.
And this one caught my eye. Guest testing. With no license needed. That sounds like a huge deal for collaboration.
It is. Imagine easily pulling in clients, stakeholders, or maybe testers from another team for a quick session without worrying about licenses or complex setups. It removes a lot of friction.
Yeah, that's a game changer. And one-click instant reports sounds too good to be true.
Pretty much. Finish testing, click a button, get a nice shareable summary. No messing around compiling results manually.
Nice. And it naturally supports that exploratory testing style we talked about.
Right. It's built for it. Our sources praised its super fast learning curve and adaptability.
But there are downsides.
Yeah, the trade-off for that simplicity and focus is it lacks customization of dashboards compared to something like Jira. And the deep integrations with lots of other systems might not be there.
So great for focus testing, maybe less of an enterprise-wide hub.
That's a good way to put it. But it does offer a 30-day free trial, so you can easily see if its style fits your team.
Okay, interesting contrast to Jira. Now, speaking of power and adaptability, Selenium came up as a top 3 contender, specifically called out as best for multi-browser web app testing.
Selenium's a big name, especially in the automation world. But it has relevance for manual testing, too. It's free, open source, primarily for automating web browsers.
So how does an automation tool fit into a manual testing discussion?
Great question. Its core strength is WebDriver support. WebDriver lets you control browsers directly through code. For manual testers looking to dip their toes into automation, Selenium provides a way to understand how those browser interactions work under the hood, maybe automate some repetitive checks.
So it's a bridge, potentially.
Exactly. It can be a stepping stone. Plus, its features are useful even if you're primarily manual.
Like what kind of features?
Well, language flexibility is huge. It supports Java, Python, C#, Ruby, JavaScript. You can write scripts or interact with it using the language your team already knows.
That lowers the barrier to entry.
Definitely. And element locators. These are crucial. They're how you tell Selenium what on the web page to interact with or check. Manual testers still need to verify these elements exist and are correct, even if they aren't automating everything.
Got it. Understanding the page structure.
Right. Then there's parallel test execution using something called Selenium Grid. This lets you run tests simultaneously across different machines, browsers, or operating systems. Even if you're triggering them manually, understanding this capability is useful.
Saves a ton of time if you need to check compatibility.
Huge time saver. And it has built-in reporting with TestNG, which is a testing framework often used with Java. It gives you clear reports on test results without needing a separate reporting tool sometimes.
Okay. What about pros and cons?
Pros include support for headless browsers.
Headless, like no screen.
Exactly. The browser runs in the background, no visual interface. This makes tests run much faster, great for quick checks in a CI/CD pipeline. It can also record user interactions to help create initial scripts.
Faster feedback. Nice. Any cons?
The main one noted is the lack of support for codeless automation. Unlike some newer tools, you really need to be comfortable writing code or scripts to get the most out of Selenium.
So powerful, flexible, free, but requires some technical chops.
That sums it up well.
Okay, so we've hit the big three, Jira, Testpad, Selenium. But you said there were 26 tools evaluated. The sources must have highlighted others worth mentioning, right? For more specific needs.
Oh, absolutely. The landscape is really diverse. Our sources called out several others, each excelling in a particular niche. It's worth briefly touching on them because your specific needs might point you here.
All right, let's do a quick roundup.
Okay, first, TestLink. This one was tagged as best for administrating and managing tests. It's free, open source, and really strong on things like requirements traceability linking tests back to requirements and version control for your test cases. Keeps things organized.
Good for process-heavy environments.
Could be, yeah. Then OpenText Load Runner. This is best for discovering performance bottlenecks. It's a beast for performance testing, simulating potentially millions of users to see how your system holds up under stress. Supports tons of protocols.
So finding those breaking points before users do.
Exactly. Bugzilla, a classic. Best for tracking and managing bug reports. Also free and open source. Known for being straightforward, effective bug tracking with email notifications, time tracking, audit trails. Solid and reliable.
A dedicated bug hunter.
Pretty much. Then JMeter, another open source tool considered the best open source performance testing tool. It's got a user-friendly GUI, supports distributed testing, spreading the load generation across multiple machines, and has a big plug-in ecosystem. Another strong performance testing option.
Seems like performance testing has quite a few good open source options.
It does. Then there's OpenText functional testing. This one is tagged best for automated software testing, but it's interesting because it uses AI-driven automation and visual test design to help speed up manual processes, too. It tries to bridge that gap with reusable test steps.
AI assistance, interesting.
Yeah. And another from OpenText, Application Quality Management, or AQM, praised as the best test management tool. It focuses on the overall management, picture test case versioning, team collaboration, really good test coverage analysis to see what you have and haven't tested.
More of a high-level command center.
Kind of, yeah. And finally, ZAP, the Z attack proxy. This is the best for performing security testing. It's an OWASP project tool.
OWASP.
The Open Web Application Security Project, a major nonprofit focused on web security. So ZAP is backed by serious security expertise. It helps you find vulnerabilities in web apps, acts as a proxy to intercept traffic, runs automated attacks, essential for security checks.
Wow, okay, that's quite a range of specialized tools beyond the main ones.
Definitely. It shows there isn't really a one-size-fits-all answer. It depends so much on your specific context, your team, your priorities, performance, security, test management, bug tracking.
Right, it underlines that point about finding tools that fit your workflow.
Exactly. And if we, connect this back to the bigger picture, It's often not just about picking one tool in isolation. It's about how these tools fit together, especially how they integrate into your overall project management workflow.
Okay, expand on that. Integration.
Well, the synergy you get when you integrate your manual testing tools, whether it's Jira, Testpad, or something else with your project management system, it fundamentally changes things. It turns what could be separate, disjointed tasks into a single, smooth, visible pipeline for quality.
Okay, that sounds good in theory, a streamlined workflow. But let's make it practical. For someone listening, managing a real project, how does integrating with project management software actually help day to day? Can you walk us through that, maybe step by step through the testing lifecycle?
Sure, let's break it down. Think of the project management PM software as the central hub, the nervous system connecting everything in the software testing lifecycle, the STLC. So, first stage, requirement analysis and planning. Your PM tool is where you gather requirements, document them, track the project scope, create your test plans. Having testing integrated means the requirements are right there, linked, visible when you start defining tests.
Less chance of missing something.
Precisely. Next, test case development and management. Integration means your test cases may be managed in a tool like TestLink or Jira's testing features, are linked back to those requirements in the PM system. You get version control, better organization, easier prioritization because you see the whole picture.
Traceability again.
Always key. Then, test environment setup. You might use the PM tool to schedule environment time, track configurations, make sure the infrastructure is ready before testing starts, avoids delays.
Right, coordinating resources.
Then the actual test execution and tracking. The integration gives you real-time visibility in the PM tool. You see progress, identify bottlenecks. If a test fails, you can often create a bug report directly from the test case, linking them automatically.
Seamless defect reporting.
Yeah. Which leads to defect management and resolution. Bugs logged from tests appear in the central PM system, linked to the failed test, linked to the requirement. Everyone sees the status. Communication between testers and developers is faster, clearer, all tracked in one place.
Much less he said, she said.
Exactly. And finally, test closure and review. All the results, the reports, the defect data is consolidated. The PM system helps document the outcomes and supports those crucial post-test reviews, the retrospectives, so you can learn and improve for the next cycle.
So it really ties everything together, providing that end-to-end visibility and communication.
It does. It makes the whole process smoother, more transparent, and ultimately more efficient.
Wow, okay. What a journey through the world of manual testing tools. We started with why manual testing is still so vital, even with automation rising. We looked at the intense process behind how these top tools were even chosen. That 173 hours figure still blows my mind.
It was thorough.
Then we dove into the heavy hitters. Jira for its power and customization, Testpad for its unique checklist and exploratory approach, Selenium for bridging manual and automated web testing.
Right, the big three highlights.
Plus that whole range of specialized tools, TestLink, LoadRunner, Bugzilla, JMeter, the OpenText tools, ZAP for security,
Yeah.
showing there's likely a tool for almost any specific need.
A tool for every job, potentially.
And crucially, we explored how fitting these tools into your broader project management workflow is where you really unlock major benefits in efficiency, communication, and visibility across the entire testing lifecycle.
Tying it all together.
So hopefully this deep dive gives you, our listener, the insights you need to make really informed decisions about the right manual testing tools for your situation, boosting your efficiency, accuracy, and the overall quality of your software.
And thinking about all this, it does raise a pretty important question as we look ahead, doesn't it? As software keeps evolving at this incredible pace, what's the future role for manual testing? Even with these powerful tools supporting it, how will it maintain quality and security, especially with AI transforming development and maybe even the nature of testing itself? Something to think about.